Hello students, welcome to Sreenath. In this video, we are going to discuss the third chapter, which is Fibre to Fabric from CBSE 7th class science textbook. So, what is the chapter, students? That is Fibre to Fabric. Fibre to Fabric. So, this is our present chapter. So, in this chapter, we are having two topics. How many topics? Two topics. So, we are going to discuss these two topics in detail now. So, in the beginning, we are having an overview for the whole chapter. After that, we will discuss each topic in detail, and later we are going to have the summary of the whole chapter. This is the plan and the process of this whole video. So now we will start our overview. So basically, we have in your lower class what you have studied. You have studied that fabric is from fibers, and fibers are natural fibers and synthetic fibers, and in the natural fibers there are some fibers are from plants and some fibers are from animals. So you have learned about plant-based fibers. Those are cotton and silk. Sorry, cotton and what the another thing is cotton and jute. So in this present video, we are going to discuss the animal fibers. So fibers which are coming from animals, that is wool and silk. So wool and silk. So now we are going to discuss this animal fibers. The first topic is about wool and how wool is obtained from different animals, and how wool is made it into fibers, how wool is made it into fabrics, like that. So we are going to discuss about from fibers to wool. So how wool is formed from fibers, and the processing of fibers into wool, like that. We are going to discuss about all those about wool. And next topic is the silk. So what is the life history of the silk moth, and how silk is obtained from silk moths, basically from cocoon to silk. That is the processing of silk, how that happens. So all these about the overview. So finally we have completed the overview. So what is the first topic, students? The first topic is wool. Okay, wool. So basically wool, it is it is one type of fiber. This fiber is from, it is a what does fiber? It is a natural fiber. This is what we have learned in our previous classes, and this is a natural fiber, and this wool is from animals. Okay, students. So, and from which animals we get wool means basically from sheep, from goat, from yak, we are getting basically wool. Okay, students. And what is the thing is basically if you see wool is of different type, which means some is coarse braid hair and some is fine soft underhair. So basically if you see like as the hairy skin of the sheep has two types of fibers. So basically this sheep has having two types of wool or two types of fibers we call. One thing is the coarse braid hair. So this hair is one type of fiber, and another thing is the fine soft hair. What is the another thing? Fine soft underhair. It is the underhair, it is the braid hair. So this braid hair, this is the underhair, and this braid hair is coarse, and this underhair is fine soft. So this hair is the fibers. That fibers are manufactured as into fabric. Okay, students. So basically what happened, which is more suitable? So this is the more suitable for sweaters, like that. So basically this process of selecting parents for obtaining special characteristics in their offspring, such as soft underhair in sheep, is termed as selective breeding. So there is a one term what we call, what is the meaning of the term? That is selective breeding. Selective breeding. Selective breeding is the term. So what is selective breeding? What does it means? So basically we want fine soft underhair. So we are taking some natural, some we are going to do some methods so that we are selecting parents for obtaining special characteristics, which means we are selecting. So if this is the daughter, then to get this daughter, and we want this daughter to have much of fine soft hair, so for that, if we want the daughter if we want the daughter must have a fine soft under hair, what we are doing, we are selecting the parents, and what we are doing is we are specially choosing some type of parents, so that we will get that the next generation will be having fine soft under hair. Like that, the selection process, we call it as the selective breeding. We are selecting the parents and we are breeding them to give as good sheeps which are having fine soft under hair, so which we call it as a selective breeding. Okay students, so this is about where does wool comes from. Basically, wool is a fiber which is a natural fiber, and wool is coming from sheep, goat or yak hair. That hair is nothing but the fiber. So basically, sheep is having its bed hair is coarse and its under hair is fine soft. So our main interest is in the fine soft hair. So for that, we are doing the process of selective breeding, and we are selecting parents, so that we are getting the next generation sheeps which have specially designed, so that which are having fine soft hair. So that process of selecting is called as the selective breeding. So next thing is the next thing, that is animals that yield wool. So what are the animals that yield wool? So basically several breeds of sheep gives wool. That is one animal. So animals gives wool. Which animals gives wool? So we will write it in the next page. So basically, animals gives wool. So which animals? So basically, that is, there are different types of animals here. So if you see, it is the Angora goat, and this is the normal goat, and this is the camel, and this is the yak, and this is the lima, and this is the alpaca. So all these having the hairs, and all these hair is the wool. We can use it as the wool. Basically, if you see, there are several breeds of sheep which gives the wool. And what another thing is, there are so basically there yak wool. What it is? Yak. This is the yak. So from this also we can get wool, and this is mostly and yak wool is most common in Tibet and Ladakh region. So in these two, basically in the Tibet and in Ladakh regions, yak wool is most common, and basically sheep, there are several breeds of sheep which gives wool. So if you see here, several breeds of sheep are different places of our country. Okay students, and what is the another animal which is giving us wool? The another animal is the Angora goat. What it is? Angora goat. This is the figure of this is the image of the Angora goat. Angora goat. So in which a region its wool is used? Means it is in the hilly region like Jammu and Kashmir. So its wool is majorly used in Jammu and Kashmir. Angora goat. Its wool is majorly used in Jammu and Kashmir. Okay students, and wool is also obtained from goat hair. So it is also from goat. So we can get from goat also. From goat hairs also we can get hair. So and next thing is basically this goat hair is very soft thing, and basically and we can woven those goat hair or goat wool into fine shovels. We call that as by using the goat hair, by using the goat wool, we can form or we can woven fine shovels. What is the shovels? That is the Pashminan shawls. So we can prepare or we can woven these shawls using goat wool. And another thing is the camel. What is the another thing? That is the camel. This is the image of camel. Okay students, and this is the image of goat previously which I have told, and this is the image, this is the angora goat, this is the one, and now it is the time for camel. So camel is camel fur means camel hair can also be used as the wool. And another thing is what, that is alpaca and llama. So what they are they are found in South America, also yield wool. Basically another animals are these two animals. So basically these are in South America. So these two animals wool is used in South America, and camel is another thing from which also we can get wool, and from yak also we are getting wool, and yak wool is mainly used in Tibet and Ladakh areas, and angora goat is also wool also used, and it is mostly famous in Jammu and Kashmir, and we can use goat hair also. Goat is wool also, it is very soft, and we can they will be used to woven pashman shawls. So basically different animals giving, this is the one we are planned to aim to study, that is animals that yield wool. So what are the animals that yields to wool? These are the several animals that, and these are the images of the animals, those are giving wool. So now fibers to wool. So basically the hair we are getting it from animals. We are getting their hair. Okay students, so how fibers and wool are made? So now our subtopic is from fibers to, how the process will be done from fibers to wool. Basically for obtaining wool, what we are doing, sheep are reared. So basically to obtain wool, what we are doing means we are rearing the sheep, and after that their hair is cut and they are processed into wool. So that the process, the whole process. So sheep are reared. The first thing is the sheep are reared, after that their hair is cut, and then it is that hair is processed into form wool. So the rearing and breeding of sheep. So the first step is nothing but in the preparation of wool, or what is the thing, first process thing is, the first step is rearing and breeding of sheep. So we have selective breeding, and we have select some parents, and for that we will rearing the sheep, and we are breeding those sheep. Basically sheep are herbivores, and they prefer grass. So and they have taken for grazing, and also in addition to for grass, they have feeding them with grass. In addition to it, they are feeding with mixture of pulses, corn, jowar, oil cakes. So they are feeding with mixture of pulses also. So in addition to grass, they are feeding the sheep with mixture of pulses and corn and jowar and oil cakes. So in addition to grass, they are feeding the sheep with these type of food materials. Okay students, so basically in the winter, sheep are kept indoors and feed on leaves, grains and dry fodder. So basically in the case of winter season, how they are feeded? In the case of winter, they are inside, so they are not set for outside. Basically for grass they have sent outside and for grazing, but on winter they have put inside, and they have feeded with leaves, grain, like that, and dry fodder. So they are feeded with these type of, so this is the total diet, or the total food that is given to sheep. Okay, and first we will select the sheep, and we are rearing is the first process, and breeding is the second process. So we will selective breeding will be done, and after that we will feed them with this type of food materials. So this is the first step of the selecting and breeding and rearing the sheep to get wool. And after that what happened? So basically certain breeds of sheep have thick coat of hair. After that feeding like that, what happened? These sheep will grown. So basically after grown, what happened? they will take them for cutting their hair. So basically certain breeds of sheep have thick coat of hair. So basically for some sheep, different breeds of sheep have thick coat of hair. So basically thick coat of hair, and what we will do, so these thick coat of hair will gives good quality wool. So on the once the reared sheep has developed, a thick growth of hair is shaved off for getting wool. So this is the process of feeding. After feeding, after development, what happened? So wool is hair is shaved off. Hair is shaved off. So basically after feeding we will get a thick coat of hair. What it is? Thick coat of hair. So that hair is shaved off to get wool. Okay students, to get wool, that hair is shaved off. So first they will feed, after that it will grow and developed, and thick coat of hair is observed, and after that that hair is shaved off for making wool. Okay students, next thing is the processing fibers into wool. So basically in this process we are getting the fibers. We are getting the fibers, students, in this process. So after we are processing fibers into wool. So after that what we are doing, we are processing the fibers into the wool. So how the final end product is the wool. We have reared the sheep, and we have breeded the sheep, and we have feeding them, and after that we have cut their hair, and finally we are getting the fiber. So from that fiber we are processing that fiber into wool. So what is the process? Basically this is the process. In this process the first step is what happened. So the thin layer of skin is along with. So basically what happened is the thin layer of skin is removed from its body. This process is called shearing. So what is the first thing? Okay students, processing fibers to wool. How we will process fibers to wool? Processing fibers to wool. Processing fibers to wool. So basically in this process, first what we'll do, basically thick coat of hair is there, so that will be cut off. So first thing we will doing shearing. What is shearing means? Shearing means nothing but cutting the hair. So shearing is nothing but cutting the hair along with thin layer of skin. That is the first process we are doing. So that will be done with with some machines, or by hand also, with some instruments like scissors, like that. So that is the process. So by cutting the thin layer of skin along with hair, the sheep will not get hurted. So basically it does not hurt them. Why it does not hurt them means, basically the uppermost layer of the skin is dead. So it is very dead, uppermost layer. So cutting the uppermost thinnest layer did not hurt it. So in this process we are getting hair from sheep. We call that process of cutting the thin layer of skin, we call it as the shearing. That's the first step, and after that is the second step. So in the second step, what is our aim, or what we are going to do? Basically this is the first step, we are shearing a sheep. So what is the next thing? That is the second step, we call it as the scouring. What we call it as the scouring. So what is the process in scouring is, what we have finally done, we have cutted the sheared skin. So after it we have washed it in tanks. So we are washing it in tanks to remove grease, dust and dirt and whatever it may be. Basically we are cleaning, we are washing that thin layer of sheep skin, or thin layer of sheep skin along with water. We call that cleaning process as the scouring, and this will be done in the tanks. And what is the next process? The next process is the sorting. So this sorting will be done by the machines, basically different, and this will be done in the factories. Basically different textures of hair are separated here. Basically in this process different textures of skin is separated. So after that, what is the fourth process? Next process is then this. So basically after doing this process, you will get small fluffy fibers, we call it as the burrs. So these burrs these bars sometimes appears on your sweaters also. So the fibers are scored again. So what happened, these bars which we are getting are once again they have gone through this process, which means scoring, which means we have again washing those in like this, and after that we have dried them. And finally what happens, and finally that will be converted into the fibers. So finally that will be converted into the good quality of fibers. So these fibers, the next step is and these fibers, when after again washing it is, we are getting the fibers, and these fibers can be dyed in various colors. So basically these fibers will be added with different colors. So basically what is the color of the sheep wool or sheep hair? That is, natural colors are black, brown or white. So but we want different colors. That's why what we are doing, we are adding so many colors to the fibers. So basically that fibers are straightened. After that what we will do that fibers are straightened and combed and rolled into yarns like that. They have rolled into yarns like that. And finally the longer fibers are made into wool for sweaters. So basically whenever there is a longer fibers, there will be used for sweaters, and the shorter fibers for spun and woven clothes. So basically longer fibers for what? They are for sweaters. And what another thing, that is small fibers, longer fibers and shorter fibers for spun. Okay students, so in this way we will use this is the process of getting fibers. So basically the process is written here, shortcut. First we will select sheeps, and after that we will shear the hair, cut the hair, we call it as shearing. After that we will wash the hair, we call it as scurrying. After that we will sorting it will be done in factories. After that again we will cleaning it. After that what happened, after we will add colors to that. After that we will do, yarns will be rolling. After that it will be rolled into form yarns. So these yarns will next used to make fabrics. So this is the whole process students. So basically after this yarn, fabric will be made. So this is the whole process of making wool from sheep's hair or fur. Okay students, so what we have done, we have completed our first topic students. Now we are going to start the second topic in this present chapter. What is the second topic? That is silk. So basically silk is also a natural fiber, and this natural fiber is from animals. Which animal? So basically silk is from silk moth, which is from silkworms. It is from silkworms. So basically silkworms spin the silk fiber. So silk fiber is a natural fiber and it is from silkworms. It is an animal, so it is an animal based fiber. So what we will do in the same process, in the previously we have selected some of the parents, so we called it as the selective breeding. In this case also we will do sericulture. So we will also select silkworms. So we called it as the sericulture. So the rearing of silkworms for obtaining silk is called sericulture. So basically sericulture is selecting and rearing of silkworms. So we will be rearing silkworms and we are feeding those silkworms. So this process we call it as the sericulture. Okay students, after that what happened, we will see. Before we are going to find out, first we will rear the silkworms. After that we will get the after in several steps we are getting the silk. So before going to it, we have to first understand the life history of silk moth. So what is the life history of silk moth? So basically what happened, what is the life history means, basically the female silk moth which lays eggs. So basically this is the male silk moth and this is the female silk moth. This will lay eggs and this will lay eggs. These eggs are on the mulberry leaves. Basically those eggs are on the mulberry leaves. So what happens after those, from these legs, from these eggs, silkworms, from these eggs larva will be come out, and we call that as larva as silkworms or caterpillars. We call it as the we are calling that larva as the silkworms or caterpillars. After that, what happened, these silkworms will eat so much of heat, so much they will eat, and they will grow in size, and they will eat. What happened in the next side, and the next stage, and the next stage of a silkworm is the pupa. So it first waves to a net to hold itself, then it swings its head from side to side in the form of a figure of 8. They will wave like that. In the form of figure, they will waves. They will wave. What wave? Pupa will wave, and inside it, finally after waving it like that, what happened, what happened means, during this process of weaving, fibers will be created, and these fibers will be these fibers is having a protein which hardens on exposure to air and becomes silk fiber. So in the process of waving around it, and in figure 8, and in the figure 8, and in the process of figure 8, we will get fiber, which is a protein which is strong also. So basically this is the silk fiber. So basically with the silk fiber, that pupa will be covered, and the covering is known as the cocoon. So basically after eating so much of grass and like that mulberry leaves, this larva or silkworm will becomes into the pupa, and in the case of pupa, it will releases the fibers, and it covers its surrounding, and after that it will covers it in the form of figure 8, and after that finally these fibers will be covering that pupa. We call that covering as the cocoon. Okay students, cocoon. So the further development of pupa into moth continues inside the cocoon. So after that, what happened? After that, further, when there is a cocoon, means which is the covering of the fibers around it, inside there is pupa. After that, it will develop into a moth inside the cocoon. This is the whole life history of the silk moth. Okay students, now we have learned what is the life history of silk moth. Okay, and basically the silk fibers are used for weaving silk cloth. Basically what happened, it will covers the pupa with silk fibers. So that silk fibers, the cocoon which is full of silk fibers. So soft silk yarn is as strong as compared to thread of steels. So which the silk fiber which is over around the pupa is very strong, and that soft silk yarn is stronger as compared to thread of steel. It is very strong when compared to thread of steel. And basically what happens means, different type of silkworms gives different type of silk fabric, silk fibers. So basically what are the different types? There are tussar silk, moga silk, kosa silk, etc. So all these are obtained from cocoon spun by different types of moths. So basically different types of moths will form these types of silks. Okay, basically the most common silk moth is the mulberry silk moth. The most common silk moth is the mulberry silk moth. Okay students, that is about the life history of the silk moth. And in the process of life history, in the stage of cocoon, you will get fibers, that silk fibers, it is very strong. So now from cocoon to silk. So basically silk cocoon is full of the silk fibers, it is very strong. So from that cocoon we have to get the silk fiber. How that process will be going? So basically first what we'll do, we will rearing silkworms. We will take a female silk moth has lays hundreds of eggs. First process is the rearing. So hundreds of eggs will be laid by the hundreds hundreds of eggs will be laid. Hundreds of eggs will be laid by the female silk. What it is? By female silk moth. So basically female silk worm will place hundreds of eggs, and these eggs are stored carefully on strips of cloth or paper and sold to silkworm farmers. So these eggs are sold to silkworm farmers. They are covered with strips of cloths or paper. Okay, and after that, what farmers will do? These farmers will keep these eggs under hygiene conditions and suitable conditions. So these eggs are stored under suitable and hygiene conditions, and some are warmed also to get suitable temperature. So after that, what happened? These eggs will become to larva. So after that, eggs is formed. These eggs, basically in this process, eggs are laid and these are transferred to silk farmers. And what they will do? They will give good suitable conditions. Suitable conditions means good temperature, which means suitable temperature and suitable humidity and suitable hygienic, and sometimes they are warm also. They will give some heat also. Finally, after that, what happened? Larva will comes. We call this larva as the silk worm. We call this larva as the silkworm. So after that, silkworm will be comed, and what happened? This larva will eat mulberry leaves. It will eat mulberry leaves. And what happened? Finally, its size increases. So after leaving so many of leaves, its size increases. So basically what they will do, so what caterpillars or the silkworms will eat day and night, though it will eat day and night enormously and increase its size. It will increase its size. So basically there are different types of there are so many of eggs, and these eggs are converted into larva, and these larva are on the mulberry leaves. And what happened? These leaves are eaten by the caterpillar. After that, they will form into, they will weave a silk fiber around it and forms a cocoon. So these larvae are kept in clean bamboo trays along with freshly chopped mulberry leaves. So these are the bamboo trays. So in these bamboo trays, they will keep the larvas, and they will keep the mulberry. They will keep the larvas and mulberry leaves also. So what happened? Whenever we are placing these larvas in bamboo trays, these larvas will eat these mulberry leaves. Up to 25 to 30 days, they will eat mulberry leaves. After that, what happened? After that eating, they will form into cocoons. So what happened after that? There will be tiny chambers in the bamboo. So in those tiny chambers, in those trays, what they will do? They will spin cocoons. So small racks or twigs may be provided in the trays to which cocoons get attached. So finally, there are small trays in it. So in this, cocoons will be attached. So these cocoons will be and what happened? This cotton or silkworm spins the cocoon inside, which develops the silk moth. So basically, this is the in this process you will get cocoons, and this cocoon is nothing but silk fiber. Okay, student, this is nothing but silk fiber. So processing silk. So a pile of cocoons is used for obtaining silk fibers. Okay, and these silk fibers, these cocoons are kept under sun. So what we will do? These silk fibers are kept under sun or boiled or exposed to steam. So after that, what happened? These silk fibers are separated out. So the process of separated silk fibers are separated, and the process of separating the fibers, basically the process of taking out threads from the cocoon for use as silk is called reeling of silk. So So what is meant by reeling the silk or reeling the silk? Basically there will from after cocoons we will get silk fibers. Those these cocoons are kept under sun, so that what happened, these silk fibers are separated from it. So basically the process of taking threads from the cocoon, so from the cocoons taking threads, which means taking silk fibers, we call it as the rearing the silk. Reeling is done in special machines which unwind the threads of fibers of silk from the which the cocoon silk fibers are then spun into silk threads. So these silk fibers are spun into silk threads, and finally they will be formed into, they will be used into woven into silk cloth by weavers. So this is the whole chapter, students. Our chapter is completed. What's now, students? Now we are having the summary. Chapter is the fiber to fabric. So in this present chapter we are going to discuss about the natural fibers, and these natural fibers are which is from animals. Basically the animal fibers are wool and silk, so we are going to discuss about wool. So basically two topics only, one topic is wool and another topic silk. So basically different types of sheep, goat and yak, different types of animals will give you wool, and the beard hair is coarse and under hair is soft, and we want fine soft hair. That way we will do some process, we will select the parents, we call it as the selective breeding. So which animals are giving? Basically wool are several breeds of sheep, yak, angora goat, camel and lima and alpaca. These will give the wool. And from fibers to wool, basically what we will do is we will rearing and breeding of sheep. Basically we will select the sheep, and after that they are taken for grazing, and in addition to we will feed with mixture of pulses, corn, jowar and oil cakes. In winter season they are feeding with leaves, grain and dry fodder. So after feeding it, they have developed and thick coat of hair will be formed. This hair is shaved off, we called, and the shaved off hair is nothing but the fibers, and we call that shaving process as the shearing. So what is the process? Basically process from fibers to wool is first process is shearing means nothing but cutting hair along with the skin is called the shearing. So this is the first thing, we are cutting the hair along with skin, that is the shearing. And the next process is the scurrying tanks. Scurrying in tanks means which we are washing in the tanks. And next process is the squirting by machines. Basically these after this it will take into factories, and their different textures are separated out. After that again we will get fluffy fibers, we call it as burrs, and again these burrs are scored again they will be washed like this, so and dried like this. So basically after coming it, they have given with different colors. So basically what are the colors? Goat for hair has, that is black, brown and white, but we are giving different colors, and these after giving these different colors they have taken to factories, and in those factories they have rolled into yarn. So basically longer fibers will use it for sweaters, and small fibers were used for making spun and woven into woven cloth. That's all about the first topic, that is wool, students. Next topic is the silk. Silk is also a natural fiber. It is also from animals. It is basically from silkworms. Basically they are selecting silk moths and rearing of them. Silkworms, we call it as the sericulture. So what is the life history of sericulture? Is basically female silk moth will lay eggs, and these eggs will become a larva, and these larva after eating so much of eat and it's increasing its size, it will form silk fibers around it in the shape of it. We call it is the cocoon. After that this cocoon is a protein. It is very strong, and how much strong it is? It is strong. Soft silk yarn is stronger when compared to thread of steel also. That much of strong it is. After that inside the cocoon moth will be developed. This is the whole life history of the silk moth. So basically different types of silk different types of silk moths gives different types of silks. Basically tussar silk, moga silk and kosa silk, like that. And after that from cocoon to silk, what is the process? Basically first we have to rearing means we have to select the female silk moths. These will lay eggs, and after these eggs are given to silk farmers, and these eggs are carefully stored in strips of cloth or paper, and these are set under suitable conditions, which means under controlled temperature, humidity and hygiene conditions. Sometimes they will raise the temperature also. After that, larva will be coming. That larva will be, we call it as a silkworm. This larva will eat mulberry leaves up to eat day and night. It will eat and it's increase its size. Basically, for that purpose, they have taken the bamboo trays. In that bamboo trays, they have placing the larvas and also mulberry leaves, small piece of mulberry leaves also. Up to 25 to 30 days, they will feed the larva. After completing it, what happened? This larva will form cocoons, which means there are some trays in it, so it will goes to the trays and it will form cocoons in that trays, and these cocoons are nothing but the silk fiber. So this silk fiber is taken out, which means this cocoon is taken out and this cocoon is exposed to sun. After that, this silk fiber is separated from the cocoon. So finally, the process of separating the silk fiber from cocoon, we call it is the reeling the silk. After that, what happened? We will getting the fiber, and that silk fibers are then spun into silk thread. So these fibers are spun into threads, and finally it will be used to make silk fiber. So finally our chapter completed, our summary also completed, students. If you like the video, don't forget to subscribe, Sreenath, and share your friends also. So have a nice day, keep smiling. Bye bye, students.